Hi all, very good morning. Welcome to Chandan English YouTube channel. This is Joshna. In this session, I am going to discuss about human reproductive system in detail. So everyone from starting to ending without missing any point. Okay. So listen the class very proper. Listen class very carefully so that you can you can answer any type of question if you get an MCQ from this chapter. Okay. Very good morning one and all. Once all of you click the like button before starting the session. What is like a human reproductive system and what is male reproductive system, what are the organs of male reproductive system and what is the process of reproductive system and what is the female reproductive system and what are the organs involving in female reproductive system. These are the things we are going to discuss. Okay, each and every student from starting to ending without missing any single point, listen carefully students. Why? Because this chapter is very useful for your exam point of view. It is helpful for SSC, GD, RRB Group D, SSC, CGL, SSC, CHSL mains, APPSC exams and TGPSC exams also. So each and every students listen properly. Okay, I think everybody know the basics, but you don't know the functioning of the male and female organs, reproductive organs. Okay, what is happening there? Okay, you don't know exactly, and even you don't know the parts of those reproductive systems also. So today we are going to discuss in detail students. Okay, yeah, very good morning Kausalya, Bhavana, Sai Teja, very good morning. Inform to your friends that class has started in Chandan English YouTube channel. Okay, yeah, basics of human reproductive system. So what are the basics? What is actually reproduction means students? Reproduction means, okay, it is the process by which living organisms produce offspring. That is nothing but the living organisms are producing their offsprings. Okay, nothing but they are generating the future children. What is this reproductive process? Nothing but the process of generating the future offsprings is known as what students? Reproduction process. Okay, for the reproduction process, the male and female fusion should be there. Okay, the male and female, what is that? Male and female fusion should be there for this reproduction process. In detail, we are going to discuss very carefully. Hi Manohar. Okay, so human reproduction system, it is the sexual process where a male and female combine genetic material. So nothing but, okay, what is gamete actually? In males, what is gamete? Sperm. And in females, what is gamete actually? Egg. If these sperm and egg fuse together, so what happens? An offspring will be generated. And that process is known as what students? Human reproduction system. We all know very well. Okay? Yeah. So there are some there are some steps involved in this human reproduction system. Okay? There are some steps involved in this human reproduction system. We are going to learn one by one in detail. Okay? So what are those steps students? In order to create a offspring, okay, in order to create a offspring, what we have to do? We have to involve gamete formation. Okay, at first we have to involve in gamete formation. Next, internal fertilization. Once the sperm and egg are fused, there starts fertilization. Okay, once the egg and sperm fused, there start the internal fertilization. Then next, pregnancy appears. And finally, the child will give birth. So these are the steps involved in the human reproduction system. In order to generate a offspring, so this is the process. Okay. So at first, gamete formation should be there. Gamete formation is nothing but sperm plus egg. That is that gives us like a zygote. Okay. After that, internal fertilization happens. After that, pregnancy will be formed, and finally, child will give birth. Okay, sometimes child will give birth and sometimes miscarriage will be up there. So these are alternative things. Okay, next, humans reproduce sexually and are viviparous. So normally, some organisms, okay, they give birth to their offsprings by laying eggs. But how humans will give birth to their offspring means we are viviparous. Viviparous is nothing but we give birth directly to our young one only. Okay, we do not lay eggs, we will give birth to our young offspring only. Okay, so we are said as what students? Viviparous, very important. Next, reproductive events generally begin after puberty. Actually, okay, our like even in a male reproductive system also, or even female reproductive system also, the events, okay, the things will start after puberty. Puberty is nothing but what students? Maturity. For female for females, the puberty will at the age of like 11 to 14, in between 11 to 14, and for males, okay, and for males it will be also between 11 to 15, okay, like reproductive organs will develop once they reach the puberty, okay, nothing but maturity, which is marked by hormonal changes. In that certain point, what happens? Hormonal changes will be appeared. Okay, after once the male and female reaches the puberty, hormonal changes will be present in their bodies. Okay, there starts the reproduction events. Okay, next, so what are the hormones responsible for human reproduction system? Very, very important, students. Okay, what are the hormones responsible for human reproductive system? Very, very important. So what are those, students? GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Very, very important. This gonadotropin releasing hormone, and even luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These all hormones all secreted by pituitary gland. Okay, which gland will secrete all those hormones which are responsible for the human reproductive system? These all are secreted by the pituitary gland, which is also considered as the master gland of our body. Very, very important, students. This pituitary gland will be present in the hypothalamus. Okay, this hypothalamus, in the hypothalamus, like a pituitary gland will be there, and this pituitary gland will release the hormones which are responsible for human reproductive system. What are the hormones responsible for human reproductive system, students? Okay, what are those, students? Gonadotropin releasing hormone, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, so these are the different hormones released by pituitary gland. Okay, in order to perform reproductive system. So what are the hormones released by the pituitary gland? One is GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, luteinizing hormone, and finally FSH hormone. So what is the functioning of the each hormone? We are now going to discuss. Okay, what is this GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone? Means it is produced by the hypothalamus. It is the master hormone that initiates the reproductive process. Okay, which hormone initiates the reproductive process? That means which hormone, when that hormone is released, so we will get a thought of reproductive process. So what is the name of that hormone? Gonadotropin hormone. This is released by the hypothalamus. Okay, this is released by the hypothalamus. And next one is what, students? Luteinizing hormone. This luteinizing hormone, which is released by pituitary gland, which is also considered as what, students? Master gland. So what it will release? Okay, what is this hormone actually? What is the function of this hormone? We will discuss now. Okay, it triggers ovulation in women and testosterone production in men. So what is the function of this luteinizing hormone, students? This luteinizing hormone, it is secreted by pituitary gland. So what it will do? Okay, it will allow ovulation process for women and testosterone production in men. Testosterone is nothing but it is also one hormone. Okay, it allows women for ovulation and produces testosterone for men. This is the hormone which is responsible for these things. Okay, what is the function of luteinizing hormone, students, in reproductive system? It allows the women for ovulation, and for men it produces the testosterone. Testosterone is nothing but what, students? Hormone. Okay, and the next thing, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This follicle stimulating hormone, it is also released by pituitary gland. It is used for the egg development and sperm production in men. Okay, what is the function of this FSH hormone, students? It is it is useful for the production of development of egg and the sperm production in men. Okay, very important, students. Make a screenshot of it or maintain a notes. Why? Because I have gathered everything in detail. In short, I have gathered the information. Okay, so make a notes or you can screenshot it, students. Yes. So these are the hormones which are released by the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, and those are responsible for the reproduction process, okay, in human beings. And next, overview of reproductive events. So what are the steps involved in this reproductive system? Now we are going to discuss. So by looking at the diagram itself, you can understand what is going to happen in the reproductive system. Okay, like the hypothalamus will be present where, students? In our brain. Okay, this is nothing but pituitary gland. This pituitary gland from the hypothalamus will release this gonadotropin hormone. So which is the initiation, which is the hormone which initiates the reproductive system. And the next thing is LH, luteinizing hormone. So what is the purpose of this luteinizing hormone, students? Okay, it helps for women's ovulation. It is responsible for the ovulation in women and sperm production in men. Okay, testosterone release in men. So this is the luteinizing hormone. And next is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This follicle stimulating hormone, it will help for the egg development and sperm production. Okay, very important, students. Okay, and the next thing, and what are the events happens in reproductive system? Now we are going to discuss. And the first thing is what, students? Gametogenesis. What is this gametogenesis? The formation of gametes. Gametes is nothing but sperms in males via spermatogenesis and egg in women via oogenesis. Okay, these are the processes which are involved for the formation of gamete in male and female. Okay, what happens here? Gametogenesis means the formation of gametes, nothing but the formation of egg in female and the formation of sperm in male. This process is known as what, students? Gametogenesis. And the next step involved is insemination. Okay, nothing but the transfer of sperm into the egg. Okay, the transfer of sperm into the female reproductive tract, that is nothing but egg, is known as what, students? Insemination. These are the steps involved in reproductive system. The first step is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is nothing but what, students? Formation of gamete. Okay, what is the formation of gamete? In male, sperm formation, and in female, egg formation. Okay, and the next step is insemination. Insemination is nothing but what, students? Allowing the sperm to enter into the female reproductive part, that is nothing but egg. Okay, and the next thing is fertilization. The fusion of this male and female gamete, nothing but sperm and egg. So this process is what, students? This process is known as fertilization. They together give a zygote. Okay, the fusion of sperm and egg together form a zygote, and that process is known as what, students? Fertilization. And the next, implantation. The attachment of blastocyte to the uterine wall. So what happens? Okay, the sperm and egg will be fused together to form a zygote, and that zygote will enter into the fallopian tubes. Okay, there it appears as a blastocyst. Okay, and finally it will enter into the embryo. It will enter as the embryo and stick to the wall. So we will discuss in detail in upcoming slides. Okay, now what is zygote actually? The fusion of sperm and egg, or the male gamete and female gamete together form a zygote, and that process is known as what, students? Fertilization. Okay, and the next thing is implantation, uterine wall. Did you understand what I said? Those zygote, that zygote will enters into the fallopian tube, and finally it enter into the uterine wall. There it form as a blastocyst. Okay, it will not move from that position. And finally, gestation, the period of embryonic development, nothing but embryonic development. That blastocyst, it will remain at the uterine wall for almost 9 months, and the embryonic development will be happened there. And finally, What is this? Parturition. Parturition is nothing but the delivery of the baby. So these are the steps involved in the reproduction system. So in general, you know, okay, in general, you know what happens in the human reproduction system. But in terminology, in our biology terminology, you have to know what is what. Okay, if you get suddenly what is partition, can you answer this question? No. Why? Because we do not know the biology terminology. For that purpose, we have to learn each and every terminology related to this human reproductive system. Okay, done. Harish, this is completely like English language. I must speak in English only, okay? Yes. This is regarding the overview of reproductive events, students, and the next. So what you have understood now? Like insemination, gametogenesis, fertilization, implantation, gestation, partition. These are the biological terms which we must understand. Okay? In general, everyone can know the what are happening in the reproduction system, but they do not know the like exact terminology related to this. Okay? Next. So this is what happening, students. This is egg. Okay, egg from ovary. Okay, this is the female and he is the male. Okay, the egg from female will enters and the sperm from the male will enters. So they together form a zygote, and that process is known as what, students? Fertilization. Okay, and finally what I said is this is the fusioning process, and finally they together form a zygote. Okay, and finally that zygote which enters into the fallopian tubes, and finally it attaches to the uterine wall, and this is known as what, students? Embryon. This embryo development will happens in 9 months, and finally through the partition process the baby will be delivered. Okay, next. So here comes the male reproductive system or male reproductive organs. So we have understood in generally what will be happening in a reproduction process. We have understood very well. But internally, which organ is doing what? So we have to know the functioning of the each and every organ, right? So we have female reproductive organ and male reproductive organ. So what is happening in the organs? Okay, we must know that. So which organ is releasing sperms? So what is happening in internally in our male reproductive system or female reproductive system? We must know that. So we have to listen properly each and every functioning of the male reproductive organs. Okay. So this is all what, students? Male reproductive system. So the thing happening in male reproductive system is this is the male reproductive system. Okay. So here is the testis, students, and this is known as scrotum. I am explaining each and everything, listen properly. Okay. So this is what male reproductive system. So actually from where the sperm is released, what is happening in the male reproductive system, I am going to explain one by one. So listen properly, students. At first I am going to discuss about the parts of the reproductive system of male, and the next I am going to discuss what are the functions of those parts of the male reproductive system. Okay. So what is this, students? Scrotum. Scrotum is nothing but it is a sac. Okay, it is a sac-like structure which is present outside the our body. Okay, nothing but the thing which is down of the penis is known as what, students? Scrotum. Okay, why? So listen properly, students. Why the scrotum is outside the abdomen? The reason is that. Okay, so listen properly. Each and everything is very, very important. In general, you know the thing, but in detail, you don't know what is happening internally, right? So why the scrotum or why the testes are outside the body? Why? Because, okay, in order to produce sperms, the heat must be very less. Okay, the heat generation will be very less. Okay, for that purpose, in our abdomen, the heat will be generated continuously in our body. The heat will be generated continuously. Okay, that heat should not match to the this testis heat. For that purpose, in order to decrease the temperature for the release of sperms, the testes are outside the body and that is covered by the scrotum. Okay, that is the reason. Why? Because the temperature of our body, for example, the temperature of my body is 27, and that temperature, the testis temperature must be either -2 or -2.5 degrees centigrade. Why? Because in order to produce the sperm, there must be less heat generation. For that purpose only, the testes are outside the body, which is covered by the scrotum. Okay? And the next thing is, actually, where the sperms are generated, means in the testes itself. Okay? The sperm cells are generated in the testes itself. Okay? From the sperms, okay, these sperms consist of, these testes consist of many semifluid tubules. Okay, semitubules. It consists of a more number of semiferous tubules. Okay, what this testis consist of, students? Seminiferous tubules. It consists of number of seminiferous tubules. Through these seminiferous tubules, okay, through these seminiferous tubules, listen properly, students. Okay, this is the testis actually, okay, which is beyond here, which is down of your penis. Okay, so this is scrotum. What is this scrotum actually? So it is a protective layer of testis. These testis will produce the sperm cells. Okay, and these sperm cells, this testis consist of many seminiferous tubules. Okay, inside the testis there exist many seminiferous tubules. Okay, and that seminiferous tubules inside it consists of many tubules. Okay, through that tubules, sperms will enter into the, this is what, students? Epidermis. These epididymis, listen properly, what is the function of this epididymis, students? It will store the sperm cells. It will store the sperm cells. From this, okay, it will enter into the, what is this, students? It will enter into the vas deferens. Okay, from testis through seminiferous tubules, it enters into the vas deferens. What is this? Vas deferens. This is nothing but what, students? Vas deferens. From vas deferens, so this is what? Seminal vesicle. So here is seminal vesicle, right? So what is the use of this seminal vesicle, students? This seminal vesicle, it will secrete this seminal fluid. Okay, I think you understood. Okay, the sperm cell from the testis, it enters into the seminiferous tubules, and from seminiferous tubules, some part of the sperm cells are stored in the epidermis, and from that epidermis, it enters into the vas deferens, and from that vas deferens, it enters into the seminal tubule. So look at the diagram, students, you will understand. Okay, from epidermis, this is epidermis, right? From this epidermis, it is entering into the vas deferens. So this is nothing but what, students? Vas deferens. Okay, and from this vas deferens, it is entering into the, this is seminal vesicle. So what this seminal vesicle will do? This seminal vesicle will secrete the seminal fluid. Okay, now the sperm cells are mixed up with the seminal fluid, and finally it enters into the ejaculatory duct. This is the ejaculatory duct. This is the prostate gland. Okay, prostate gland is nothing but what this prostate gland will do, students? This prostate gland will contributes to the seminal plasma. This prostate glands will add nutrients to the sperm cells plus seminal fluid. Okay, how the energy will be added to the sperm cell plus seminal fluid, students? This prostate gland will give the nutrients required to the sperm cell. Why? Because sperm should swim a lot. For that purpose, it should need the energy. Okay, and that energy it will be get from this prostate gland. And finally, it is entering into the ejaculatory duct, and finally through urethra. So this is called what, students? Bulbourethral gland. So bulbourethral gland, what is the function of this bulbourethral gland? Means it will it will reduce the acidity. Okay, it will reduce the acidity present in the urethra. Okay, so the what is that? The sperm cell plus seminal fluid. So they should not have any acid. Okay, and this bulbourethral gland, it will reduce it will neutralize that sperm cell plus seminal fluid, and finally it will come out through the penis. So this is the process happening in the male reproductive system. Okay, once again I am going to explain, students. The sperm cells are produced in the testis. That testis consists of number of seminiferous tubules, and from that seminiferous tubules it will enters into the epididymis, and from that epididymis it will store some of the sperm cells, and the remaining sperm cells it is entering into the vas deferens, and from that vas deferens it is entering into the seminal vesicle. This seminal vesicle, okay, what it will do? It will secrete the seminal fluid, okay, and the sperm cell plus seminal fluid will enter into the prostate glands through ejaculatory duct, and this prostate gland it will give the nutrients required for the sperm cells plus seminal fluid, and finally it will be released into the urethra, and there consists of what, students? Bulbourethral gland. This bulbourethral gland reduces the acidity present in that fluid, and finally it will be released through the penis. Okay, this is the system what is happening in male reproductive system. Okay, next. So these are this what I have discussed. I am displaying on the board. Okay, primary sex organ. The testes are responsible for producing sperm and male sex organs, androgens, primarily testosterone. So did you understand what I said? So this is the testis. So it is the main thing to release sperm cells, and even it is also releasing the male sex hormones like androgens and testosterone. Okay, very, very important. And the next one is scrotum. Scrotum is nothing but which it is a protective layer of testis, okay, which acts like a sac outside your body. Okay, testes are located outside the abdominal cavity in the scrotum to maintain a temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees lower than the body temperature. Why? Because for the sperm formation, there must not be any heat generation. For that purpose only, the scrotum is placed outside the body in order to reduce the temperature. Okay, why? Because for the sperm formation, the temperature should be 2 to 2.5% lesser than our body temperature. Okay, next. So each testis contains 250 testicular lobules. So nothing but seminiferous tubules, what I said. Okay, each testis consists of many, okay, 250 testicular lobules, and those consist of many seminiferous tubules, housing 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules where sperm are produced. Okay, and the next, duct system. Duct system is nothing but, so what I have told, okay, from seminiferous tubules it enters into the what is this, students? Epididymis. This epididymis, they will store the, okay, from the epididymis it will store the what, students? Sperm cells, and through epididymis it enters into the vas deferens, and from vas deferens, okay, from vas deferens it will enters into the ejaculatory duct, and finally through urethra. The thing which I have explained in the diagram, that is displayed on the board. Okay, and the next one is seminal vehicles. I have told you what is the purpose of these seminal vehicles. They provide the energy required for the sperm to enter into the urethra. Okay, these seminal vesicles, it will produce the energy like nutrients to the sperm. And finally prostate gland. This prostate gland contributes to the seminal plasma. So previously I have said reverse. Okay, actually seminal vesicles, it will provide nutrients to the sperm cells, and this prostate glands, it will release the seminal fluid which is combining with sperm cells. And finally bulbourethral Cooper's gland. So these are nothing but what, students? Bulbourethral gland. So what is the use of this? Either they lubricate the penis, or they will reduce the acidity present in that fluid. And finally hormonal control. LH acts on Leydig cells to produce androgens. So I have explained you already. LH, luteinizing hormone. What is the use of this? It is helpful for production of testosterone hormone. We have discussed in the previous slide only. Okay, next. This is female reproductive system. So till now we have discussed what is male reproductive system, and now we are going to discuss in detail female reproductive system. Okay, I think everybody understood very well. If you did not understand, you can go back and you can listen again and again, students. Why? Because I have explained in a very detailed manner. Okay, so you will not be confused, and now I am going to explain about the female reproductive system. Are everyone in live? Once all of you confirm? I am not getting any messages. Just say me, are you there or you left the live? I am not getting any messages. Everybody on live or you left? Please, any one of you confirm. Okay, done. Okay. So next one is female reproductive system. So this is female reproductive system. What is happening in the female reproductive system? Where the egg is developed, okay, where the zygote is formed, and what are the fallopian tubes, what is embryo, we are going to discuss now. Okay. So this is all about female reproductive system, students, and these are the parts of, wait a minute. Okay. So these are the parts of female reproductive system. So this is ovary. Okay, this is ovary, from where the egg is formed. Okay, the egg is formed in the ovary. Next one is uterine cavity, and this is uterine fundus, ovaries, and this is isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum, fimbriae. So I will discuss everything. Okay, I will discuss what is what. Just look at the diagram, students, very important. If you are having examination like in moderate to difficult level, you can get the questions in depth. So listen properly, students. I am going to explain in detail in a very slow. Okay. So these are the parts of the female reproductive system, and the first one is what, students? Uterine fundus. This is uterine fundus. How it is looking like? It is looking like a dome shape. This uterine fundus, it is looking like a dome shape. What is the function of actually? It is nothing but it is the top of the uterus lies about the opening of the, so wait a minute, students. Okay, done. Okay. So how it is, this uterine is present at the top of the fallopian tubes. These are nothing but what, students? These are fallopian tubes. So how it is looking like? It is looking like a dome which is present at the fallopian tubes. And the next one is uterine cavity. Uterine cavity is nothing but here the embryo development will be there. Okay, this place is nothing but the place in uterine cavity the embryo development will occur. Okay, uterine fundus means it is a dome shape which is present exactly on the top of the fallopian tubes. And what is this uterine cavity, students? In uterine cavity embryo development will be happen. Listen everybody. Okay, each and every function of the female reproductive organ is very important. So listen carefully. And next thing is these are the fallopian tubes. So these two these two are fallopian tubes, and in these fallopian tubes consist of three parts. So one is isthmus, and one is ampulla, and one is infundibulum. Okay, you all know fallopian tubes. Okay, fallopian tubes consist of three parts. So what are those three parts, students? Isthmus, ampulla, and next one is infundibulum. Okay, now what is happening in each part we are going to discuss now. Okay, so what happens in isthmus? In isthmus, it is a narrow position that connects to the uterus. So listen, so how it is looking, this isthmus, it is connecting to the uterus, right? So here is the uterus. This isthmus is a narrow thing which is connecting to the uterus. Listen properly. And the next thing is ampulla. So in this ampulla, okay, here the fertilization happens. Okay, where the fertilization happens, students? In ampulla. Ampulla is one of the part of the fallopian tubes. Where the fertilization occurs in fallopian tubes, in which part? In ampulla. Okay, the fertilization is nothing but fusion of male and female gamete. Okay, they both fuse together and form a zygote, and that fertilization happens in which part of the female reproductive organ system? In ampulla. Remember, very, very important, girls and boys. Okay, and the next thing is infundibulum. Okay, what is this infundibulum, students? This is a funnel shaped opening near the ovary. So listen, students, this is ovary, right? From this ovary, okay, from this ovary through this, which is like a finger shape, from this ovary, the egg is entering into the fundibulum, infundibulum. Okay, this infundibulum, which is connected to the ovary. From those ovary, the egg enters into the infundibulum, and then it enters into the ampulla. And in that ampulla, the egg fertilization process occurs. Okay, and the next thing is what, students? Like endometrium. Okay, endometrium is nothing but inner lining of the uterus. Endometrium. What is this endometrium, students? Inner lining of the uterus. In uterus, what happens? In uterus, embryo development takes place. The inner lining of the uterus is known as what, students? Endometrium. Endometrium is known as what? Inner line of the uterus. And the next one is myometrium. Okay, myometrium is a layer. When the embryo is growing, it will contracts. Do you understand what I am saying? The uterus contracts. Okay, this uterus consists of many number of layers. The inner layer is known as what, students? Endometrium, and the middle layer is known as what, students? Myometrium. While the embryo is developing, which layer will be expanded or which layer will be contracted? This myometrium. Okay, middle muscular layer contracts during menstruation and childbirth. So during menstruation, female girls will get pain, right? Why? Because the middle layer of uterus, it gets contracts. Okay, and that middle layer is known as what, students? Myometrium. Okay, and the outer layer of the uterus is known as what, students? Perimetrium. This is the outer serous layer, provides external protection to the uterus. Okay, this uterus consists of 3 layers: endometrium, myometrium, and finally perimetrium. This endometrium, this is the inner layer of the uterus, and myometrium, so this is the middle layer of the uterus, so which contracts during menstruation and childbirth. And finally perimetrium, so this is the outer layer of the uterus, which acts as a protective layer for the uterus. Very, very important, students, listen carefully. Okay, and finally fimbriae. Fimbriae is nothing but, for students, finger-like projection that captured the released eggs. Okay, the egg is released from ovary, right? This what is this? Fimbriae. These fimbriae will capture the egg which is released by the ovaries, and it will send into the ampulla, and there fertilization occurs. And finally, what is this, students? Cervical canal. Okay, cervical canal is nothing but passage through the cervix allows flow of menstrual blood and sperm entry. Okay, the menstrual blood flow and sperm entry takes place in which part of the female reproductive system, students? Through cervical canal. Okay, the sperm enters into the female reproductive system through which? Through cervical canal, and even the menstruation blood will flows outside the body of female through this cervical canal only. And next, okay, that's all. Yes. So what is this ovary, students? Female gonads produce eggs. Ovaries are nothing but they produce eggs and release which type of hormone, students? Estrogen and progesterone. Okay, testes will release testosterone, and this ovaries will release estrogen and progesterone. Very, very important, students. Each and every student, are you listening? Once you say yes, okay. And the next thing. So this is what happening, students. Okay, this is what happening. I will tell you process in general. So look, students, the ovaries. So this is the ovary, right? Okay, the sperm will enter into the vagina through cervical canal. Okay, the sperm will enter to the vagina into cervical canal, and through this, okay, it will enter, finally it will enter into here like ampulla. Okay, the ampulla, the egg is released from the ovary, from fimbria will take the ovaries and will enter into the ampulla. Okay, the sperm which is entering from there, it will stop there in fallopian tubes, ampulla. In ampulla, what happens? In ampulla, fertilization process takes place. Fertilization process is nothing but the fusion of male and female gamete. A zygote is formed, and that zygote will enter into the fallopian tubes and finally into the uterus. Okay, in this uterine cavity, the embryo development takes place. Okay. Done. Next, SSC GD 2025 special batch complete course is also available on our Chandan except RRB NTPC special batch complete course is available. 0 to Hero special batch complete course is also available. Railway exams complete course is also available. SSC exam CGL, CHSL, CPO, GD, MT Stenograph complete courses are also available on our Chandan except. Bank exams complete courses are also available. Bank SSC RRB combo courses available. Arithmetic and reasoning books, you can get it only for $9.99 plus delivery charges applicable. APPSC, TGPSC, SA constable courses also available. Next, so these are nothing but what is happening. Okay, what is this spermatogenesis and what is this oogenesis? Spermatogenesis is nothing but, so male, okay, a male can release sperms throughout its life. Okay, a male can release sperms throughout its life. There is no end for the release of sperms for males. When comes to females, there will be stop and start. Okay, the release of eggs will be have a stop and stop in females. Okay, that is nothing but what, students? Spermatogenesis is nothing but begins at puberty and continues into the old age. That means it starts at the puberty when mature state and even it will be till the old age in men. Sperm release will be starts at the puberty and even it will continue till the old age. One primary spermatocyte eventually produce 4 functional motile spermatozoa. Okay, spermatozoa is nothing but what, students? Sperms. So one primary, for example, one primary sperm, okay, it will divide into 4 sperms. Okay, that is nothing but what process, students? Spermatogenesis. And the next thing is oogenesis. As I told, okay, women cannot continuously release eggs. As the male releases sperms, women cannot release continuously eggs. There will be stop and start. Why? Because in between there will be a menstruation cycle. So there will be post menstruation. Okay, these are some of the things which will happen for the female. So egg release will not be continuously for female. A complex stop and start process that begins before birth. It is arrested in the diplotin stage of prophase 1 until puberty. Okay, so at the young age, at the very young age, from age 3 to 12, there is no egg release. Okay, at a very small age for the females, there will be no egg release. And that stage is known as what, students? Diplotin stage of prophase 1. Okay, at the diplotin phase of prophase 1, there will be no egg release. And at puberty, meiosis 1 completes, producing a secondary oocyte and a first polar body. At the second phase, at puberty, meiosis 1 produces. That means egg formation will be happened at the puberty. Next, meiosis 2 is arrested. So metaphase, that means nothing but what, students? So what? When you are, so in general I will say, students, when we are children, for female, until maturity, no egg will be released. So after puberty, that means after hormonal changes, egg will be released. And after some days, that means after 45 to 50 age, that cycle will be stopped. So there will be a stop and start for the female reproductive egg formation, and that process is known as what, students? Oogenesis. Okay? Yes. No. So for some men, okay, for some men there will be a stop, but in general, if you look at the old persons, so you are saying like that. So in some cases, if you look at an old person is responsible for the small persons. Okay, so men can release throughout their life, but women, there will be a stop and start for their egg release. Okay, Analogy, nothing but spermatogenesis will be a factory that start running at puberty and never stops. So what I have said, okay, sperm release in males is like it starts at puberty and it will not be stopped at any time until they die. Okay, and next, oogenesis, however, is like a high stakes multi-stage theoretical. Next, menstrual cycle. You all know what is menstrual cycle. Okay, the endometrium sheds due to low progesterone levels. Endometrium means what, students? Endometrium is nothing but inner layer of the uterus. The inner layer of the uterus shrinks. Okay, the inner layer of the uterus shrinks, so that what happens? Low progesterone levels. Due to low progesterone levels, this progesterone is a hormone which is released by ovary. When this progesterone is low, so what happens? This endometrium, it is the inner layer of the uterine, it gets shrink. Next, that is known as what, students? Menstrual phase, day 1 to 5. Okay, what is this menstrual phase? What happens in the uterus actually? Due to the low progesterone levels, our endometrium, that is nothing but it is the inner layer of the uterus, it gets shrink. Okay, and next, follicular proliferative phase. FSH stimulates follicle growth and estrogen causes the endometrium to regenerate. Okay, so when the FSH hormone is released, so finally what happens? This endometrium, what is this endometrium layer? It will again come back to its position. Okay, during the menstrual cycle, what happens, students? The inner layer of the uterus, it will shrinks due to low progesterone levels. And finally, when FSH molecule and when FSH hormone is released, this endometrium, it will come back to its position. That means it will get regenerated. And finally, ovulation, day 14. A rapid increase in LH caused the Graafian follicle to rupture and release the secondary oocyte. Okay, what happens in this ovulation from day 14? What happens? Okay, due to the luteinizing hormone, due to the very rapid increase of luteinizing hormone, what happens? Okay, the Graafian follicle to rupture. It causes the Graafian follicle to rupture and release of a secondary oocyte. That is nothing but what, students? Like menstrual things. Okay, next. The ruptured follicle becomes the corpus luteum, secreting high levels of progesterone to maintain the endometrium for potential pregnancy. So this is the thing what is happening in the uterus. Oviduct Nagarani, okay? So there will be oviduct, students, okay? Oviduct will be there, okay? From that oviduct, next. Fertilization, cell division, implantation, we all discussed about this. So pregnancy is nothing but gestation. Okay, timeline. Actually, how can we calculate the pregnancy, students? From their last menstrual cycle. Everybody know this. Okay, from their last menstrual cycle, the pregnancy countdown starts. Okay, so that is known as what, students? LMP, about 40 weeks. Okay, 3 trimesters, everybody know this in general. Okay, actually the pregnancy countdown starts from the last when their period come. Okay, when the last menstrual period occurs, from then the counting will be started. So it exists for 40 weeks and the baby will be developed in a very good manner, and finally it consists of 3 trimesters, first trimester, second trimester and third trimester. After that the baby will come out. Okay? Okay. First, what happens in the first trimester, students? Like from 1 to 13 weeks, major organs and structures develop. Okay, everybody know this in general, even okay, what happens in pregnancy, it will be for all over, it will be exist for 40 weeks. Okay, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Week 1 to 13 is considered as first trimester. So what happens here? Major organ development takes place here. And next one is second trimester. What happens here? The fetus grows significantly. From week 14 to 27, the fetus, okay, it will grow significantly. And finally, in third, rapid growth and maturation. And it will grow furthermore in week 28 to 40. And development, the embryo becomes a fetus after implantation with the placenta forming to provide nutrients. Okay, when you take the baby out, there appears a thing and it is attached with placenta, right? That placenta will provide nutrients to the baby. Okay. Next, birth. The process of delivering the baby typically divided into 2 stages, usually considered 37 to 42 weeks. Okay, the fully developed baby comes out, okay, from 37 to 42 weeks, and it can result in live birth, miscarriage or stillbirth or abortion. So there may be many cases like that person may give live birth or that person leads to like miscarriage or abortion. So these are some of the cases. Okay, and next, lactation. Okay, lactation is nothing but mammary glands produce and secrete milk. When a female gives birth to a small offspring, what happens? The mammary glands, it will produce and secrete milk, typically starting during pregnancy. Actually, this mammary glands secreting milk, it will start during the pregnancy itself. Okay, and continuing after childbirth to nourish infants regulated by hormones like prolactin and oxytocin. Okay, this prolactin and oxytocin, these are the hormones which are regulated during lactation period. Okay, next. This process provides essential nutrients and immunity to newborns but can also occur without pregnancy and ends when milk removal. Okay, if the milk is produced after the child grown swallow, how can we stop that milk production? By removing the milk. Okay, so these are, yes. Next, what is the primary function of GnRH in human production? Triggers ovulation in women, produced by hypothalamus to initiate the reproductive process, promotes egg development in women, supports sperm development in men. So tell me students, at the beginning of the session only I have discussed, so what are the 3 hormones responsible for the human reproductive system? Gonadotropin hormone, okay, which is responsible for the initiation of reproductive system, luteinizing hormone, which helps in like testosterone production and woman ovulation, and finally FSH hormone, which is used for the egg development and sperm production. So tell me students, very good. Option 2 is the correct answer. Next, in the sequence of reproductive events, what occurs immediately after fertilization? Gametogenesis, insemination, implantation, gestation. What occurs after fertilization? Tell me students. Yes. Tell me. Yes, gonadotrophic releasing hormone. Very good students. So I have already discussed what are the events happening in the reproductive system. Like it starts with gametophysis and then next insemination, next fertilization, next implantation, next gestation and finally parturition. Okay, very good. Okay, once again I am going to discuss students. Why? Because some students have joined just now. What is this gametogenesis? Nothing but okay, formation of a male and female gametes like sperm and egg. And next come insemination. Insemination is nothing but the sperm entering into the egg. And finally next one is fertilization. When the sperm enters into the egg, a zygote will be occurred and that process is known as what students? Fertilization. And what is this implantation? Implantation is nothing but the like a zygote which enters into the fallopian tubes and finally it enters into the uterine line and forms as a blastocyst. And that is implantation. And what is this gestation? Gestation is nothing but during pregnancy period. Okay, what happens? That blastocyst, which is considered as embryo, the development of embryo takes place. Okay, this is what happening. And finally, after the embryo is completely developed, through parturition process, it comes out. Okay, next. What is the role of the scrotum in the male reproductive system? Produce sperms and hormones, maintains a lower temperature for sperm formation, stores mature sperm, provides fructose for energy. So even I have explained each and every part of the male reproductive system, students. So tell me, what is the purpose, what is the function of the scrotum? Very good morning. Yes, tell me students, what is the answer for this question? What is the purpose of scrotum? Scrotum is nothing but, yes, very good. Okay, scrotum is nothing but, actually, why the scrotum or why the testes are outside the body, students? Why? Because in order to produce sperms, in order to generate sperms, heat reduction should be there. Okay, there should not be any heat release. In order to release that, in order to reduce the heat generation, the scrotum is placed outside the body, which appears as a sac which covers the testes. Okay, very good, students. So what produces sperm and hormones? Testes, which stores mature epididymis. Okay, and the next one is which provides fructose for energy? Seminal vesicles. Seminal vessels. Okay. Which accessory gland in males contributes to lubrication of penis? Seminal vesicles, prostate gland, bulbourethral glands, testes. So tell me, students, I have even explained you this also. Yes. Everybody, I am displaying the MCQ. You must answer the question. Why? Because I have explained each and everything in detail. So if you are not answering, that means you did not listen my class properly. What is the answer? Very good, students, very good. Okay, bulbourethral glands. So what it will do? It will lubricate the penis, or either it will reduce the acidity present in the sperm plus seminal fluid. Okay, very good, students. Next, in the female reproductive system, where does fertilization typically occurs? Uterus, infundibulum, ampulla of fallopian tube, endometrium. So tell me, I have explained you in a very detailed manner. Actually, when the sperm enters to the cervical cavity through the cervical canal through the female body, actually where the fertilization occurs, fallopian tubes of what? I have already told you fallopian tube has 3 parts. Ampulla, and next one is what, students? Infundibulum, and finally, yes, very good, ampulla of fallopian tube. What is the function of the myometrium layer in the uterus? Sheds during menstruation, responsible for labor contraction, collects the egg, provides nutrients to the fetus. Tell me, students. Yes. So I have already discussed, I think you did not listen class. Tell me, students. So myometrium layer, uterus consists of 3 types of layers: endometrium layer, myometrium layer, and finally perimetrium layer. Okay, perimetrium layer. So what is the use? Very good. Okay, the middle layer of the uterus is known as myometrium. During menstruation or during childbirth, the contractions appear in this myometrium. Very good, Kausalya. Okay, so which collects the eggs, students? Which collects the eggs? Tell me. Yes. And which provides nutrients to the fetus? Placenta. Which sheds during menstruation? Endometrium. Okay. Next. How many functional spermatozoa are produced from one primary spermatocyte? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have already discussed. One spermatozoa, it will be divided into, and it gives how many sperm cells? Placenta is which gives food to the fetus. 4. Very good. At what state is oogenesis arrested until puberty? Metaphase 2, diapletin stage of prophase 1, meiosis 2 completion, secondary oocyte formation. I have already told you. Oogenesis process means there will be stop and start for the egg release. Okay. So, before puberty, there will be no egg release for the female person. That stage is known as what? Before puberty, there will be no release of eggs. There will be no oogenesis process in females, and that process is what? Hari Krishna, very good. Okay, diapletin stage of prophase 1, very good, Govardhan, Chinni. Next, during which phase of menstrual cycle does the endometrium regenerate due to estrogen? Menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulation, luteal phase. I have already told you. Okay, menstruation cycle, what happens from day 1 to 5? Endometrium, which is the inner layer of the uterus, got shrink. But after one of the hormone gets released, okay, after the one of the hormone gets released, it's again regenerate. Yes, very good. Follicular phase, very good. Why? Because in this follicular phase, FSH hormone is released. Okay. What caused the rupture of the Graafian follicle during ovulation? Low progesterone levels, FSH stimulation, LH surge, corpus luteum formation. So, in some situation, this Graafian follicle during ovulation will be ruptured due to release of what? Due to increase of which hormone? Tell me, students. Due to release of LH surge, due to release of luteinizing hormone surge. Okay, this Graafian follicle during ovulation will be ruptured. Very good. In fertilization, where does the sperm usually penetrate the egg? Uterus, fallopian tube, blastocyst, endometrium. Actually, where the sperm penetrates into the egg? Tell me. I think everybody will answer. Where the fertilization happens actually? Yes. And tell me the answer for this question, students. Each and every students. So, the things which I am explaining daily, so these are okay, very, very important. So, as exam point of view, which are important, I am discussing those topics only, students. So, each and every students follow Chandan Loik's English YouTube channel, General Science sessions, and even in Chandan Loik's Telugu YouTube channel, I am discussing about Indian history topic wise sessions. So, join in those sessions also. And the answer for this question is fallopian tube. Blastocyst is nothing but it is a cyst, students. Actually, the fertilization happens where? In fallopian tube. Okay? Read the question properly. Next. What hormone is produced after implantation to signal the start of pregnancy? FSH, LH, HCG, GnRH. So, everybody will know this. Okay? So, if a woman got pregnancy, so if you go to if you visit doctor, they will check one hormone level. If you know what is that hormone level, you can easily answer. I think female girls will know. Okay, if a woman got pregnancy, she will go for a test. She will visit doctor. The doctor will check some hormone levels. So what is that hormone level? Tell me. Tell me, students. Yes, HCG. Very good. Okay. Next. How is pregnancy timeline typically calculated? From fertilization, from implantation, from last menstrual period, from ovulation. The pregnancy period starts from where? Everybody will answer for this question also. Yes, come on, students. Very good, very good. Yes. And if you know what is the full form of HCG, tell me the full form of HCG also, students, if you know. Or try to know it and put it in the comment section. Yes, from last menstrual period. During which trimester do major organs and structures develop? First, second, third, all trimesters equally. Yes, very good, students. In which, so generally during pregnancy, 3 trimesters will be there, right? So, major organs development takes place where? In first trimester only. Yes, no. First only. Yes, okay. Next. What forms after implantation to provide nutrients to the fetus? Zygote, blastocyst, placenta, corpus luteum. So, which provides nutrients to the fetus? Tell me. Which provides nutrients to the fetus? So, even after giving birth also, that part will comes outside. Tell me students. Very good, placenta. What is the process of delivering the baby called? Gestation, parturition, implantation, lactation. Yes, human chronic gonadotropin. Very good, very good. Did you understand what a gonadotropin now? Gonadotropin hormone is nothing but which initiates the reproduction process. Okay? Yes. That's why when you visit a doctor, he will check the HCG hormone level. Yes, parturition. Which factor significantly affects conception chances after age 35? Temperature, hormonal changes, age, gametogenesis. So, at which factor affects? For a female, if she is at the age of 35, so there will be a very low chance of pregnancy. So, which factor will do the students affects change? Okay, age. As the female gets aged, what happens? There will be a less chance to become pregnancy. Okay, when she crosses 35 years of age, there will be a less chance for her to get pregnancy. In most of the cases, okay. Next. In assisted reproduction like IVF, where does fertilization occur? Fallopian tube, uterus, lab, ovary. Okay. In many cases, so women do not get pregnancy, right? In such situation, they will go for IVF process. So what happens? The embryo will be, the fertilization process takes place where? So tell me students, what is the answer for this question? In IVF system, where the, yes, very good, lab. Which hormones regulate lactation? FSH and LH, GnRH and estrogen, prolactin and oxytocin, testosterone and progesterone. Okay. So, in some cases, after pregnancy, some mother will not get what? Milk. At that cases, what that mother will do? She will consume those tablets. So, what are those tablets? Prolactin and oxytocin. This regulate the lactation. Okay. When does lactation typically end? After pregnancy, when milk removal stops, during gestation, at puberty. So, everybody will answer to this. Actually, when the lactation ends, when the baby stops drinking milk. Okay. And the answer for this question is option 2. So, evening I am going to discuss Sangam age. Okay, in the evening session, Indian history point of view, I am going to discuss about the Sangam age. So, each and every students follow me in Chandan Loik's Telugu YouTube channel and Chandan Loik's English YouTube channel for general science and Indian history sessions. In detail, I am explaining topic wise. Okay, yes. RRB NTPC special batch complete course is available on our Chandan Loik's app. SSC GD complete course is also available. Zero to Hero complete course is available on our Chandan Loik's app. SSC exam CGL, CHSL, CPO, GD, MTS complete courses are also available on Chandan Loik's app. Railway exams complete courses are also available. Bank exams complete courses are also available on our Chandan Loik's app. Okay, done. Okay, each and every concept will be covered, students. Just subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Chandan Loik's English and Telugu channel so that you will get a notification. Okay. Arithmetic and reasoning class books are also available, plus delivery charges applicable. APPSC Police and Essay Constable complete courses are also available on Chandan Loik's app. APPSC TGPSC Group 2 courses are also available. Single subject courses are also available on our Chandan Loik's app. So, as I said, we have 3 channels, Chandan Loik's Telugu, Chandan Loik's English and Chandan Loik's Mail. Subscribe to those 3 channels so that if there is any live session, you will get a notification. Okay, so you can join. Okay, students, bye for today. Let's meet in the evening session, Sangam age. Okay, Chandan Loik's Telugu YouTube channel.